Are you ready to join me in transforming fear to freedom? That's the objective of the show. Are you ready to explore with me and my guests? Are you ready to get into the deep and play? This is where it's at, and that's what it's all about. No medical advice here. Use discernment and decide for yourself if the information is right for you. All views and opinions expressed on this show belong to the individual and are not necessarily shared with the producer of the show. Want more details? Go to letsgetrealchattingwithcatherine.com. Now let's get real and have some fun. Who are we going to explore with today? Come on with me and let's get into the deep. Welcome to Let's Get Real, chatting with Catherine. And once again, we are so excited to be able to talk to the people behind Fashion Calgary's portrait campaign for 2014. This is their third year, and it's so exciting for Calgary. And a lot of people internationally know of Calgary as, you know, the home of the greatest outdoor show on earth, the Calgary Stampede. But not everyone is aware of the cultural aspects of Calgary as a city. It's grown so big now, and we have such a beautiful international multicultural flavor that I find it so exciting. So I'm happy to be able to have a chat today with Rafal Wegiel. Am I saying your last name properly?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's correct. Well, everyone is kind of saying all the way, but as long as it sounds close enough, it's all good. So
that's sweet of you. Oh, jeepers. So Rafal is the photographer behind the portraits that they do every year, and his wife Anya Bazak who joined me last year for this chat, and you can go back and listen to our chat and find out more about her, and she's a big force in Fashion Calgary. So we're talking with Rafal today, and the big gala event is November the 6th, which is the sort of the culmination of a year's worth of work, isn't it, Rafal?
It is. It's been, 8 months of really hard work. There's only two of us who actually, kind of like come up with, what came up with this idea. And, we have some people who are helping us out, but usually that help comes at the very end, for the preparation for the gala. But, all the portraits and, all the interviews we do, and every kind of like we arranging the time and kind of working with those ambassadors. That's only two of us. So
yeah. It's you and Anya that are behind this whole thing. Really, you're the force that makes it happen, right?
That's correct.
So I want to sort of go back to for people who aren't familiar with this. If you can just give us, like, what is it all about? What do you feature 25 people every year, and who are they, and how do you come to that?
Okay, so the Fashion Calgary Portraits campaign originated in 2012. I'm sure like most of Calgarians know that in 2012 Calgary was chosen to be cultural capital of Canada. We tried to kind of, as a Fashion Calgary, we tried to kind of come up with some kind of project which gonna celebrate that. So, because I'm doing photography and Anya, she's so into fashion, we come up with, Fashion Calgary Portrait campaign where I'm taking portraits of 25 ambassadors, and, we basically looking at, people who have a lot of influence on our culture and, our art scene and music scene in Calgary. And so we really try to kind of pick people who, they make huge impact. So, the first year, the whole idea was to kind of start to, kind of having people who kind of connect this cultural scene. So we didn't focus on, let's say, one field. We tried to kind of pick people from different industries, like, music, painters, people from media, politicians. We tried to really kind of pick, people from different industries. And
you have a nice you have a nice variety of people from all different industries, which is kind of what people, the cultural melting pot, so to speak, it's all about. People, it's not just one industry. I love that.
Absolutely, because you know what, it seems like, I think it's everywhere, like everyone kind of like doing things, in kind of in own industry, right? And it's, like, I'm not saying people live in own bubble, but, musicians kind of work with each other, and, like painters and other artists, they kind of work in own environment. So, our goal was just to bridge that a little bit, right? Because, there's so much in Calgary. So we thought that, like, would be nice to, kind of have variety of, different people from different industries. So, the first year, as I said, was really hard because, like Anya, she's been in Calgary for, 7 years. I've been 10 years. So we kind of fairly new to the city. And, we really didn't kind of know who we should reach and, who should we talk to and stuff like that. So the first year was kind of tough. And then, like when the kind of ball started rolling, people were kind of telling us, oh, you guys should pick that person, or you guys should talk to that person. So, like out of having few ambassadors, we ended up first year having 25. And, like it seems Calgary is so like a rich when it comes to, talent and, amazing artists. It seems like for us, the first year when we started this whole thing was that, a lot of those people, and that's the kind of sad part of it, they work in Calgary, they create art in the city, but they don't really kind of showing off. Like people don't really know about them.
Right.
So we have some amazing artists who, they basically, for example, I can just kind of name one person, Jim Tescoat. He's a painter, and this guy, believe it or not, he sells, his paintings all over the world, and his inspiration is Fish Creek Park.
Wow.
So, like when we started kind of discovering those people, I was like, wow, that's just amazing. So, the first year was kind of tough.
Sorry, it's nice the way that you are, it's nice to have people who are humble, but at the same time, it's also nice to give them that opportunity for the rest of us to know the people who, I don't live in Calgary, but I'm an Albertan, and I love that we're getting to know people in our own backyard as well as,
Absolutely.
Bringing it out to the world.
Absolutely. And, believe it or not, there's so much talent in the city. There's amazing artists, amazing painters, amazing musicians. And then, like we really wanted to bring that flavor to the surface. We really want to expose those people and let people know that, Calgary has so much to offer. Because, the vibe that we were getting when we moved to Calgary, that, like people are looking for the kind of cultural stuff and art stuff kind of outside of Calgary.
Right.
But people don't realize that, we have so much here, we have to just kind of look around and then see that, there is a lot of amazing artists. There's a lot of amazing talent. You have to just kind of look a little bit deeper into the city and, those people are here. So that's amazing. And that's, like the first year was so inspiring for us because, we not only have the chance to kind of like connect with these people, but we become friends with some of them. We see what they do, and the city is really growing. And every year, and it's, as you said, this is the third year. We discovering more and more talented people. So like the first year was not really enough. We just kind of like literally scratched the surface. And the second year, we actually take a little bit different approach because we really want to also not only showcase those established artists, but we also want to help those guys who are really talented and they starting off. They need some little bit of push. They need that exposure. So we actually, half of those ambassadors were established ones, and half of them were those guys who, kind of starting off. They have talent. They need help. And we try to also expose those people to the public that, like let them kind of keep them here, because another really sad part about the city is that there's a lot of amazing talent, which basically as soon as they kind of stand up, they moving away from Calgary, right?
Right, because they don't have that exposure in the city, which I think is one of the things now that, you're kind of established in your third year now, that people can actually look to this event as an annual thing and to recognize that it's a source to find out more about some of the wonderful things that are being offered in the city. And coming to the gala event is where you actually get to see it all in one place. So I feel like you're doing a real service by kind of searching out for people that are doing amazing things, and as you say, some of the established ones and some of the new and upcoming talent, so that people can not that they can't travel around and visit other places, but that they know there's something right here at home, and for people in other parts of Alberta to come to Calgary and see some of these people and be able to support it, with purchasing their products or attending the events. So I think this is an amazing thing that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I also want to kind of, I think we're not going to change, people's mentality, but also I would like to live in a city where, there's also focus on different other stuff other than, Stampede. Because, as you said at the beginning, that's how people know Calgary. It seems like the whole focus, throughout a year is the Stampede. And this is the 2 weeks where people kind of party and they celebrate and, for the rest of it, I'm sorry, I'm not saying it's kind of dead, but, there's small things happening, but not really big. So,
but it's nice to have something, and it's not. You're right. It's that it's our roots. The Calgary Stampede is kind of with the roots of Alberta ranching and that whole culture. But it isn't. It would be. To me, it would be kind of ridiculous. It'd be like staying in the early 1900s, where we're in 2014, where people are, you can be a cowboy, you can be working on a ranch, you can be loving the lifestyle, and you can also appreciate, the Calgary Philharmonic, the ballet, the arts, the musicians, and the great cuisine. It's not all, it enhances your life. It's not like you have to choose one or the other. It's this and that, which makes it just makes it more delicious.
Oh, absolutely. And, Calgary is growing extremely fast. The dining scene is apparently one of the best in Canada. There's a lot of things where, just developing really quickly. And, we really kind of changing the shape of, the cultural scene here. And, even for us, living here for not, almost 10 years, we see a huge shift, right?
Right.
Every year brings something new. And, the people who live here, and they're also so talented, they become really successful on the international kind of level, right?
Yes.
So we definitely should celebrate that and, make those people exposed to our city, so people kind of know who we have in the city, right? So we should be proud of them. We should support them, and you should kind of keep them in the city so they're not going to kind of go away. They're going to work somewhere else, right? So that's the kind of goal what we have, just to celebrate those, amazing people in our city. We try to this year bring someone new to the table. So we have one international ambassador, and, that's, kind of topic for another kind of conversation.
Okay.
But we want to reach out a little bit further and, also get, people interested abroad Calgary and abroad Canada to come to the city, because, there's the city has so much to offer, right? So we really want to kind of spread the word, not only here, but also kind of.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to do the show with you, because Let's Get Real Chatting with Catherine is a global show, and we have connections all over the world. So when people are listening to this, they recognize, we're talking about Calgary, Alberta, Canada, which is an awesome city, and I'll have links with the show to let people know to go to your internet pages so they can get more information. And I know that this summer, I kind of followed Anya's tour that she did over in Europe, and was, bringing some of that flavor with her. Is there some of that influence too, that European flavor that she picked up while on her tour?
Well, we both from Poland originally, right? So
Right.
there is a lot of there's a lot of kind of different culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some good stuff, some bad stuff, like everywhere else. But I think it's European culture. It's kind of like they're really pushing forward, right? They really try to make a difference. They work on, I would say, thousands and thousands of different projects to kind of, bring that flavor. I think the amazing thing about Canada and Calgary is that, we have that whole kind of multicultural scene, right? People are from like so many different countries. And I think the biggest thing what we could do in our city, just to start connecting those people so we can collaborate more together, because, that's what brings the flavor to the city, right?
Yes.
And then I think that's a little bit missing here because, let's say you have, Latino kind of like festival. You have, I don't know, African festival. But I think it would be so nice if we could bridge those and do some stuff together and share that kind of culture with each other, right? So it's not like, you have to go to it's kind of nice to see those different things. But I think if we could collaborate more and do some stuff together, we would be even more successful. We could see even more interesting things happening, right? So
absolutely.
That's another goal what we have, and we have in mind another project which we want to do, but I'm not going to kind of say anything now because it's just kind of early stages.
Okay. Well, if people are listening to this, Rafal, then they should contact you, and I'll have all your links there. If this just tweaked their interest, they can connect with you personally, and then
absolutely.
Yeah. So this year we're talking about this year's the gala event is basically the celebration of all that you and Anya have put together. That you interview the people, then you do fashion portraits of them, and bring it to us to help us to sort of be introduced to these people. Is that what the gala is all about, or do you want to speak to that?
Yes, the gala is just the kind of finale of this whole project. So basically, we've been working for 8 months to kind of like finding those people, photograph them, doing interviews with them, and the finale is just to bring them all together. Also, what we want to do is that's just the kind of like every year thing. What do? We invite those ambassadors from previous years. So, believe it or not, we already have 80 of them, right? They all coming to the event. Well, not all of them, but I would say majority of them, they will be there.
So from the previous years, ambassadors will be there this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So basically it will be, photography exhibition where we're going to showcase all those portraits. Also, what we want to do, and that's just the kind of main thing. So there's two kind of things. First of all, we want to kind of by celebration, just kind of do really interesting entertainment. So we have 3 different bands this year. The one which was last year, Alistair Elliott, I'm not sure if you know that, but he is the world's class jazz player. And he actually is one of the best. He's got one of the best jazz bands in Canada. So he will be playing that.
Alistair Elliott, right? Alistair Elliott. Yeah.
Alistair Elliott. Yes. Then we have a little bit different flavor. We do have a band called Los Morenos. So if you look up them at YouTube or any other channel, just Google them. They play unbelievable music. They're amazing. We actually found them accidentally, and we just fall in love with their music. They also
Lovely.
From Calgary, all of them. They live here. They produce music. They create. They are actually on the tours as well. So we are lucky to have them. Also, we we have this year Jocelyn Alice. Like she's like young talent. I'm sure if you've seen the Travel Alberta commercials, she was just actually writing the songs for those commercials. Unbelievable talent, amazing voice. She will be also performing at our gala. So moving forward, we also want to make sure that all our guests, are fed properly. So we have 4 different chefs. One of the best in Calgary, Paul Rogalski. Also, we have chefs from Hotel Arts, and also we have 2 more. We have one chef from LA, and this is actually going to be really treat. We actually bringing down 4-hour event chef Andre Carten, and I'm not sure if you hear about him, but this guy, he is first of all one of the ambassadors, international ambassadors for this year campaign. But
I did see Anya's interview with him, which was lovely. And I want to point out to people before, sorry to interrupt you, Rafal, but these people that are the ambassadors and so forth, Anya has done interviews with them, and you can go to the www.fashioncalgary.ca portrait campaign, and you'll for 2014, and you can see all the different interviews there as well, which makes people, it's not just a name anymore. They come alive. You start to connect with them. And I love that you did this way. And I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to let people know that is also available.
So going back to our chef, he is actually personal chef for Janet Jackson, Haley Berry, and he used to be a chef for Elizabeth Taylor. So he's unbelievable person. He was here in September, so we've done photo shoot with him for his portrait. So yeah, we had a chance to kind of spend a little bit of time with him, so he could share some of his stories and how he got into this whole industry and how this whole thing works in kind of like big world. So we are really lucky that he said yes, and he commits to our project, and he's coming also for the gala, and he will be also cooking for the event.
Wow,
so
that's exciting.
So that's going to be really, really exciting, and people are going to have a chance to chat with him, have a chance to meet him. We have like amazing kind of relationship with him. We are super excited. So yeah, that's going to be the one of the international ambassadors who, said yes to our project, and he fully commit to what we do. So that's really exciting.
So am I hearing you right, Rafal, that the people are the guests at the gala event will have the opportunity to mingle with some of the people who are your ambassadors and who you're profiling on the portrait campaign?
Yes, that's correct. That's the kind of main goal with this event, right? So we not only want to kind of expose these people, but we want to kind of bring them to the event so people have a chance to, meet them and talk to them and, kind of like interact with them. And, also for those ambassadors, it's important for us, so those ambassadors can also talk to the other ambassadors, right? From previous years, because they also artists, musicians, you just name it. And then, that's, I think, what the biggest success behind this event is that, we were able to, connect some of those guys and, kind of, so they can this is just starting point for them to maybe some collaboration or, some they can do some other stuff, right?
Yes.
So it's just basically bringing the city together, right? And bringing a talent to one place where people can talk to each other, meet each other, and then, and then basically go from there, right? So that's why we actually think that's the kind of the whole idea behind it, just to start really bringing, that talent from our city together, so people can really kind of like, because we deeply believe that if you work in the group and the team, you become much more stronger, right? You can create way better stuff, right? If you work just on your own, then it's harder, right?
Yes.
And by seeing what kind of talent we have in the city, I think it's important to start kind of working, in some kind of collaboration, right? So that's the kind of the idea and the goal of this event and this project, right? right? So it's been successful. We've been running this for the third year. This whole thing is growing fairly quick. We definitely need more people because, it seems like we really have not maybe a hard time, but there's so much work that goes into it to kind of manage this whole thing. Right?
Well, and the thing is that next year it's going to be even more, that'll be into your fourth year. So you're going to need some team players to help you out. You have some absolutely excellent sponsors. And as a matter of fact, you have so many sponsors that I can't name them all. But if people go to your website, you can find all the sponsors. I mean, there's, Calgary Jewelers, Epcor Center, Rafal, you're obviously a sponsor as well. And Bistro Rouge and on. I don't want to leave anybody out, but at the same time, you just have so much support, and I love that you do. And I've also, what I think is important, and part of the reason, my shows are all about, Let's Get Real Chatting with Catherine is all about transforming fear to move to freedom. And I think culture is the key. Getting to know each other and knowing that the joy of the exquisiteness of other people's way of living, their culture, the arts. Once we have those kinds of things as a focus in a society, I think that's where true peace and harmony can come, because we find things we like about each other. We find things that are, enjoyable about each other's foods, ways of doing things, dress, you name it. And it makes the future looks so much more hopeful to me when to me, these are kind of international languages, food, music, art. It knows no barriers, no boundaries in that. So I appreciate that you're doing this, because I think it raises a vibration of a lot more positivity and hope. But the other part of it is that you also tie this and collaborate with, it's also a fundraiser for the Calgary Philharmonic's Camp for Kids. Would you like to speak to that, Rafal?
Yes. Well, the first year, we had a really hard time to find, something where we could really kind of focus on and support, basically in collaboration with this entire project. And then we were looking for something which is related to art. So Anya spent hours and hours to search for something which could fit what we do.
Right.
There's a lot of fundraising, kind of events where basically people try to collect some money for kind of healthy issues like cancer and stuff. But if you look kind of deeper, there's not too many which support art. And, when we actually start digging into this whole thing, we found, this project, which is, associated with C.P.O. and supports musical camp for kids. And then because Anya, she was basically learning how to play piano since she was, a little girl. And, we also know from our culture that, it's really kind of, it's not only expensive, but it's hard to kind of get into some of those schools and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Especially for those families who, they don't have a lot of income, putting kids into those kind of classes, not cheap, right?
Right.
So we were really kind of like really close, and we felt the need for that. So that's why we met with C.P.O. and we said, well, we would be interested to kind of support you guys. So yeah, they basically took us with open arms and like, what if you guys could do anything for us? That'll be fantastic. So that's how this whole thing started. Last year, it was the first year, we didn't collect as much money as we hoped, but that was just the first year when we started kind of really kind of associating ourselves and this whole project with this with this campaign, what the C.P.O. does. So this year we actually changed the kind of approach to it. So people are gonna bring donation directly to the C.P.O. like on the day of the gala.
Right.
So hopefully we can raise some money for those guys, right?
So,
and help them and
Yes, and I mean the thing is, I didn't even know there was a Calgary Philharmonic camp for kids, music camp for kids, until I did the show with Anya last year. So by doing these shows and these events, you're bringing awareness to that it's even available, and for two reasons: one, for people who have children who need that camp, but also for people who are looking for a good place to donate. And I just share with you, I shared this with Anya before, I remember, because it's always on my mind at this time of year. We get close to Remembrance Day and so forth. And I had the opportunity to, I knew a gentleman who was a Second World War vet. And after he came back, he became a teacher, and he taught art and that kind of thing in the schools. And he said to me, when they started taking the arts and music out of schools and not supporting that, he said that was the worst thing he could ever see happening for the future, because he felt that children who learn the arts, whether it's music, dance, find a form of expression, that they are less likely to want to go to war. Those aren't the people who are waging war in the world. And I thought, to me, to honor him and what he was saying makes so much sense to me. Promote the arts, give children this kind of avenue so that they have ways to express themselves in such positive ways that that's where our future lies. That's where my heart it feels. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that philosophy with you.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree more with you. And I think always art, it's a really important part of children's life. If you don't have that, you're just killing the kids' creativity, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then, we really, I think we need that, because that's how we develop our culture, through art, through music, from, kind of, as you said, also expressing ourselves. So I think it's a crucial thing, for the kids, for the teenagers, so they have something which they can kind of not only, they can, speak about stuff, but they can also kind of express themselves from different mediums, right?
And
so that's why we really kind of believe into that, right? I wish we could do more about that, because there's a lot of things that we could do, right?
But I wanted to say, if people, you're saying that at the gala event, people can also make donations to the C.P.O. Calgary Philharmonic Camp for Kids.
Absolutely.
But also, if they can't attend, they can also do it online, right?
Yes, there is a link on our website when they go to fashioncalgary.ca, Fashion Calgary Portrait Campaign. There's a separate kind of link, and when they go to that page, there's a link where they can basically direct them straight to the C.P.O. website, and they can make a donation to help them raise the money for the cost, right?
Right, and then they can do that anytime, right? There's no limit. They can do that all year long, really. So
absolutely.
If you're listening to this show in 2 months or 6 months, then go and make a donation if you can, because I think that's a worthwhile cause. I really do.
Absolutely, and we've done our research, and these guys are amazing. Like, every penny which they raise goes directly to help those kids, right? So it's not like, there's the money goes somewhere nobody knows.
Yeah.
From our research, we know that, they're really helping out, and they really make, those dreams for those kids possible, and, they do tremendous and amazing jobs, right? So that's why we really want to help them out. We really want to support them, and, we want to raise as much money as possible to help those kids who really want to express, and they want to learn music, and basically they sending the people from C.P.O. to help those kids to make this happen.
Right. And something else I wanted to ask about is I noticed on your website there's a fashion show on Saturday night. Now, is that part of the portrait campaign, or is that something just from Fashion Calgary?
That's something different. Yeah, we just put some different events. So whatever is, kind of happening in the city, which is related to fashion, we also try to help to spread the word and, kind of put on our website so people know. So that's just something separate. Okay,
so because I know that a lot of people will be listening to the show, will be looking at it in terms of the gala event and your portrait campaign, but I also want to bring attention to Fashion Calgary's work, because that's something that you and Anya collaborate on as part of, your work, as far as I understand. So I wanted to, if you want to give us something about that so people can understand, who are you people and what is Fashion Calgary?
Well, so basically the Fashion Calgary is, it's a company, but, our goal is to really expose basically what is amazing about our city and everything what is related to fashion, to cuisine, to art, to music. We try to kind of, expose that, right? There's so much in the city. So, we actually right now at the stage where we're really looking for people who have passion for art, for culture, for fashion, who really want to be part of, our team. And basically, there's Calgary has so much to offer, and I'm not saying it's similar with the portrait campaign, but we try to kind of focus on businesses, businesses who, been in Calgary for a long time, they're established, and, they do stuff which are related to, as I said, fashion. There's a few things which we try to support.
Right.
So basically, Fashion Calgary is the blog which exposed our city to the public. So, because we found when we came to Calgary, and I don't know if you agree with me, but, there's a lot of amazing things in the city, but people don't really know about it, right? Like you have to kind of do own research and, you just find out from a friend of yours, go to that little boutique because they have great stuff.
Exactly.
So basically, our goal is to expose those places through the website, through social media. So we want to talk about it. We want to do reviews. We want to kind of showcase to the public, what is really interesting in the city. We also know from our other, resources that, people who are visiting Calgary, as you said, most of them coming where the Stampede is, but, they also are interested to other stuff, right? So those are also the things which we want to focus on and kind of showcase and basically expose to the public.
Right. So it gives people a better idea of what Calgary's all about. That's what, I like the whole concept of learning about what's available and maybe hearing about different parts of things, because just hearing about there's a new shop, well, that doesn't really intrigue you. But if you find out, they've got this and that and it's a great experience,
You're right. But for example, I think, just going back to our shop, that, I think that's kind of coming from our culture because, in Europe, we found that, people are all over those little boutiques, because they have unique stuff. They kind of have own personality. They kind of, they're owned by, some interesting people. And here we found, generally in North America, people go and shop, let's say in the mall, right? They go to. And, we want to kind of showcase that, that there's a lot of other interesting places for shopping and not necessarily only, Chinook or, I don't know, Hot Renfrew and other place. There's also tons of other interesting places where people can do amazing shopping. They can get really, interesting, stuff. And we also want to support those little businesses, right?
Because, I was just going to say,
important.
Yeah, but Rafal, it's not because we don't long to have that boutique experience. It's just that we've been kind of trained in the kind of hurry up kind of attitude of, whereas, I love going into boutiques and finding unique places that have unique designers, clothes. Like I'm always trying to find Canadian designers who are doing some really exciting new kinds of things and that type of thing, or whether it's clothing or housewares or whatever it might be. And it's just about kind of our training. But a lot of Calgarians will go to Europe because they want that boutique experience, or they want that, and I think it's something that'd be nice if we could find out more about where those boutiques and that kind of experience is available right here in Calgary.
Exactly. And, you don't have to go to Europe to have that experience. Why don't we have that here?
Yes. That's my point.
Exactly. I know, people in Calgary, I think just generally everywhere these days, people, they live in really kind of in the kind of rush, right? We just go all the time. But I think, sometimes we need to kind of slow down a little bit and see what is around and kind of, and enjoy our life, right? It's not
well, I think we're longing for something more too. That's the whole cultural thing. We're longing for that time that we can spend where we're actually welcomed in a shop, not just about, we're more conscious of where we're exchanging energy and our money and that, but we also want the experience of it. We don't just want to pick out, here's a blouse and here's my money. We want to have somebody who has a little expertise and who can help us, just tweaking little things. It's just a different experience. And I think that there are people that long for that. And all we need is to know it's here and get some exposure. And I think that's kind of what you're doing. You're raising the bar. And I love that you're doing that.
Oh, absolutely. As you said, you don't want to just go to the shop and, just exchange money for things. You want to have that experience. So, and then, speaking of that, we have actually opportunity today to do a little bit of shopping at Supreme Menswear, which is actually located in downtown of Calgary. I have to say, I've done shopping even all over the world and, been a lot of places in Europe. But, I was just blown away today where, we came to the store and, we got, cookies and cappuccino and, we just sit on the couch and do a little bit of shopping. They show us stuff and I'm like, well, I never experienced that anywhere, right?
Where
and
was
that's
that?
Also what they tried. The place is called Supreme Menswear. It's located on, I believe, 4th Street. I would have to just look up the address. 4th Avenue, sorry. It's a store with the men's clothing.
Great.
And, and the service, what they have there, I was, first of all, as I said, blown away and hands down for all the staff who work there because these guys are just amazing. And, if you want to go for not only shopping, but just have that kind of pampering service where they really look after you, this is the place where, people should go.
Great.
Because they really raise the bar when it comes to the customer.
Oh, I'm happy to share this information with people, and it's not, I look for sponsors, believe me, but I'm willing to share the information because that's what people want. We want to know where we can go and have these experiences, and I appreciate you sharing that. But another thing I wanted to ask you, Rafal, is, you're a photographer. So if people see your work at the portraits you've done and that kind of thing, is that something you do for private citizens?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Well, I do photography. That's just my business, right? The campaign is just a kind of addition to my everyday kind of photography life.
Yeah.
I shoot a lot of weddings. I do corporate portraits. Well, not everything, but a lot of things which are related to photography I do, right? And the portraits campaign and all those portraits were just something which was born 3 years ago, and, I really enjoy. I just love to photograph people. Sometimes it's challenging, but just to kind of have experience to be one-on-one with someone and try to pull best out of them, that's my passion, and I love doing it, and
well, I wanted to give you the chance to let people know that, because I've seen, some of the things you've shared on social media and stuff, and you're an amazing photographer, and I love your work, and I'm looking forward to seeing them at the gala event. But I just thought, people see it, they want to know, can we work with you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm, whoever is looking for really good portrait, and then, they can always contact me, and I'll be more than happy to work with them. And doesn't matter, it's a corporate portrait or this is, the family session, or whatever people need. Please feel free to contact me anytime, and I'll be more than happy to work with them and create those amazing pictures. So,
well, I wanted to make sure people knew that, because sometimes when you have a photographer that works with people at a high profile level like this, sometimes people will think, oh, well, that's photographer to the stars and not for, everyone. And, everyone's a star in a photographer's eyes, right?
Yes. Well, for me, everybody is a star, right?
Yeah.
So, it doesn't really matter who I work with. And that's what I also learned throughout this, throughout this campaign, that, doesn't matter who I work with, and I work with really high-profile people, you still have to treat them like, people, like humans, and you have to, talk to them, you have to interact with them, you have to pull up the best out of them. So for me, I don't want to say that I don't really care whether they're from the camera, but, I treat everybody the same, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. I just wanted to make sure people knew that if they are seeing your work and, are called to it, and they want family portraits or corporate portraits or whatever, that, you're available, they can just connect with you. So what's your website, Rafal?
My website, I have a few of them. They can find me, on the fashioncalgary.ca. They can also find me on my personal website, which is rwphoto.ca. And there is a link to my other website, which they can also find. It's rafalwegiel.com.
All right. Well, I know you and Anya are working like crazy, and I just want to, thank you for what you're doing for Calgary, what you're doing for Alberta, what you're doing for Canada to raise this awareness of culture, which I think is so critical at this time on our planet. I just think it's really important. And not only that, the best part of it, it's fun. I love that part too.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And, as I said, we've been doing this for 3 years, and we definitely be tired after the project is done and gala is over. Usually we need like a couple months to recover from, all the stress and all the hard work. But then you're just getting that kind of adrenaline rush, and you want to do this whole thing all over again. And that's why I think we've been doing it, and we love what we do, right? And then having those people on board and bringing those amazing talent to the public, that's just so rewarding, and we love every minute of it. So.
Oh, well, I appreciate you sharing with my listeners, viewers, and for doing this again, and for inviting me to join you. And I'm looking forward to it as well, and to meeting you and Anya in person. That's going to be exciting. So
thank you so much, and we will see you on Thursday. We definitely, want to hear your feedback. What did you think about this event? And then
I'll be giving a report.
Yes.
I will be sharing. So thanks so much, Rafal. And for all of you listening, check out the website for all of the links, and we will share this as soon as it's available. All right, and that will conclude tonight's show on Let's Get Real, Chatting with Catherine. You can go to lgrcc.com for all the information. If you'd like to be a guest or you'd like to sponsor a show, please contact us right away. Until next time, take care. Thank you to my guests for sharing with us today. Thank you for watching. Feel free to share the link. You can join us for live shows by going to letsgetrealchattingwithcatherine.com and listen to the replays from the show page, preview guests, and explore links to our Facebook fan page, WordPress blog, and more. We are creating an exquisite world. Until next time, take care.